Thank you, Cian Corla. So we hear a lot about opinion polls and more opinion, but we had a really big one where people went out and voted in the referendum in May, and the people have made their decision. So we all, as politicians, take fleeting interest and passing interest to various degrees in opinion polls, but the only one that matters and all that, we had a ballot, and people made their decision in relation to this. This is not an amendment about choice, far from it. This is an amendment about mandatorily a bunch of politicians telling doctors what to do in terms of the diagnostic tools that they use, and if they don't follow it, offering them a prison sentence of up to a year. That's what your amendment actually does, just to be clear. Yes, you're right. The woman has to have the ultrasound. Now, you're not going to force her to look at the heartbeat, and you're not going to force her to look at the screen. But mandatorily, under your amendment, every single woman would have to have an ultrasound, and every single doctor would have to carry out the ultrasound. Now, so this is about choice. Yes, absolutely, Deputy Nolan. Of course, there's a need for ultrasound. In obstetrics. That's not really the question, but it's not for you or me, quite frankly, to tell our doctors when to use the ultrasound machine. And the idea that we must scan every woman to date their pregnancy is just kind of bizarre. Many thousands of women will have gone to their GP today in early pregnancy and will have, with their doctor, based on their LMP, worked out the stage of their pregnancy that they're at, Cian Corla. I do get frustrated. We had a bit of this last night too. This idea that until every other issue in the health service is sorted out and there's no one waiting for any other procedure, we can't actually invest any money whatsoever in crisis pregnancies and women's healthcare. That women's healthcare must come last. Until every man has a new hip or every man has his cataract done, we can't actually invest in women's healthcare. This is healthcare, guys, and just like you come in here and demand that I should do more on all the other things, you should be demanding we do more on this, and it's worrying that you're not. So this amendment here today would force doctors, based on no medical reason but the views of politicians, to scan every woman mandatorily, to face a prison sentence if they don't do it, and to subject every woman to that ultrasound. That's what it does. It would be a terrible use of what people rightly point out is a scarce resource in relation to the health service. And yes, Dr. Boylan, who I can categorically say would not be supporting this amendment as somebody offering me clinical advice on the implementation of this service, so I'm sure he wouldn't like to be quoted in any way suggesting he's supportive of it. Dr. Boylan's absolutely right to highlight, as many doctors have, that we do need to provide ultrasounds, absolutely, for when our doctors believe we need to use them, and not for when politicians did. So I'm not in a position to accept the amendment.